All right, so today we're diving deep into something I know we all experience.
All the time.
Yeah, all the time. Restaurants.
Oh,
And
yeah.
more specifically, how to navigate those situations at a restaurant
Right.
where you need to make a special request or communicate dietary needs clearly.
Yeah.
So think of this as your guide to feeling confident
Absolutely.
and getting exactly what you want at your next meal.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, let's face it, the menu doesn't tell the whole story.
No, doesn't.
And clear communication is key.
100%.
A truly enjoyable dining experience.
I'm sure.
We'll cover everything from handling allergies to making substitutions,
Love it.
preferences known.
Yes.
We're not just going to give you like a list of basic phrases, though.
Yeah.
We're going to go a little bit beyond that.
Awesome.
We're going to explore the psychology behind effective communication
I like it.
with restaurant staff.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's not just about what you say,
Right.
but how you say it.
It's the delivery.
Exactly. A little finesse can go a long way.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, let's imagine a scenario.
Okay.
You sit down at your favorite restaurant.
Right.
You're excited for this delicious meal,
Of course.
but you have a nut allergy.
Uh-oh.
What's your first move?
Well, I wouldn't wait until the server is rattling off specials to mention it.
Yeah.
Or taking orders. You want to bring it up right away.
Okay.
Politely but firmly. Something like, "Hi, I have a severe nut allergy.
Okay.
Could you tell me a bit about how you handle that in the kitchen?"
I like that proactive approach.
Yeah.
Gets it out there early.
Yes.
But why phrase it as a question about their procedures
Sure.
rather than just stating your allergy?
Because remember, we're aiming for a collaborative vibe here.
Okay.
By asking about their processes, you're showing that you understand it's a shared responsibility.
Uh-huh.
Plus, their answer can give you valuable insights.
Yeah.
Do they seem knowledgeable and confident?
Right.
Do they mention separate prep areas or procedures? This all helps you gauge how seriously they take food allergies.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It's like you're gathering intel to determine your level of trust.
Exactly.
Right.
Precisely. Now, depending on their response, you might need to dig a little deeper.
Okay.
For instance, just to be absolutely safe, could you double-check with the chef if this dish is prepared with any nut ingredients or shared equipment?
Okay, so you're emphasizing being extra cautious, especially if it's a severe allergy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And this is where that psychological aspect comes in.
Yeah.
When you're polite, clear, and demonstrate that you understand the severity of the situation,
Right.
servers are more likely to take your request seriously and go the extra mile to ensure your safety.
It's about establishing a rapport.
Yeah.
Showing you're not just being picky,
Yeah.
but addressing a genuine health concern.
Exactly. And frankly, a restaurant that is dismissive or flippant about allergies is probably not a place you want to be eating anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
Their response to this initial interaction can tell you a lot about their overall professionalism and commitment to customer safety.
That's a great point. It's like a litmus test for the whole dining experience.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've laid the groundwork with the allergy conversation.
Right.
Now, let's say you want to swap out those fries
Right.
for a side salad.
All right.
Do you think using phrases like could I or may I actually makes a difference?
It definitely can. While I want might get the job done,
Right.
could I or may I just soften the request
Yeah.
and make it more collaborative?
But isn't there a time when you need to be more assertive?
Sure.
Like, what if they tell you a substitution isn't possible when you know it probably is? How do you handle that?
That's a great question, and honestly, it requires a bit of judgment.
Okay.
Sometimes it might be a genuine kitchen limitation.
Yeah.
Other times it could be a server trying to avoid extra work.
Right. So how do you discern between those situations?
Well, first try to understand the reason behind the no. Is it because the dish is pre-prepared,
Uh-huh.
or are they just being difficult?
Right.
If you suspect it's the latter,
Okay.
you might need to politely but firmly advocate for yourself.
Huh.
Something like, I understand that substitutions can be tricky,
Okay.
but I'm really trying to avoid reason. Would it be possible to check with the chef?
So you're not just accepting the no at
Oh,
face value. You're engaging in a conversation.
Right.
You're
You're showing that you're not trying to be demanding,
Yeah.
but that you have a valid reason for the request.
Okay, so we've tackled allergies and substitutions.
Right.
But what about those times when you just have a strong preference? Like
Yeah.
you can't stand onions.
We all have our quirks, right?
Yeah.
And it's totally fine to make those known.
Yeah.
But again, it's all about the phrasing.
Okay, so instead of blurting out no onions,
Right.
how would you handle that?
Something like, I'd love to try the dish, but could you please ask the chef to leave out the onions? I'm not a big fan.
Okay.
It's direct,
Yeah.
polite, and doesn't leave much room for interpretation.
So being clear and specific is key,
Yes.
even with preferences.
Even with preferences.
But you also mentioned there's a difference between saying no onions
Yeah.
and without onions.
Oh, absolutely. Without onions can come across as a suggestion,
Yeah.
like you're open to a few stray pieces.
Yeah.
But no onions is definitive.
Okay.
It means you don't want them touching your plate.
Aw.
It's all about setting those clear boundaries.
Makes sense. You don't want to end up picking onions out of your food all night.
Exactly.
Speaking of clear boundaries, let's move on to a topic that's becoming increasingly important.
Okay.
Navigating vegetarian and vegan options.
Absolutely. And this is where things can get a bit more nuanced. More and more people are embracing plant-based diets,
Right.
but menus don't always make it easy.
Yeah, it's like you need a decoder ring sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes they're not super clear.
So what's the best way to approach this?
Well,
Especially if the menu isn't super clear.
first, don't be shy about asking. It's
Yeah.
this simple. Do you have any vegetarian or vegan options?
Okay.
Can open up the conversation.
That's straightforward.
Yeah.
But what if there's a dish?
Yeah,
That sounds promising,
sure.
but you're not quite sure if it fits the bill.
Then you get a little more specific.
Okay.
You could point to the menu item
Right.
and say, this sounds delicious, but I'm vegan. Could you tell me more about the ingredients?
Okay, I like that approach.
Yeah.
You're expressing interest, but also making your dietary needs clear.
Exactly. And here's where things get interesting.
Okay.
Sometimes a dish might be vegetarian,
Yeah.
but can easily be adapted to be vegan.
Oh, okay.
For example, a pasta dish with cheese
Right.
could be prepared without it.
So it's always worth asking about potential modifications.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You might be surprised at how accommodating kitchens can be.
Yeah.
Again, being polite but firm is key.
Okay.
You could say, is it possible to have this dish made without the cheese?
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But what about those hidden ingredients?
Ooh. That can sometimes sneak into dishes.
Right.
Things like chicken broth and soup
Yeah.
or fish sauce in a seemingly vegan stir fry.
Those are the tricky ones.
Right.
But honestly, it's perfectly acceptable to inquire about those things.
So how do you bring that up without sounding like you're interrogating the server?
Well, I find that a little humor can go a long way.
Okay.
You could say something like, I'm a bit of a detective when it comes to hidden ingredients. Could you put my mind at ease and tell me if there's any chicken broth in this soup?
That's a good approach.
Yeah.
It's lighthearted, but still gets the point across.
Exactly. Or if you're vegan, you could phrase it like, just to be sure, could you confirm that this dish is 100% plant-based? I want to avoid any surprise ingredients.
So you're basically giving them the heads up that you're knowledgeable
Right,
and paying attention.
right. And remember, a good server should be happy to provide that information. They want you to enjoy your meal
Right.
as much as you do. You know, it's interesting how all of these communication techniques really come down to building a sense of trust and partnership
Yes.
with your server.
Totally.
It's like you're on the same team,
I love that analogy.
working towards a common goal.
It's so true. When you approach the interaction with that mindset, it makes a world of difference.
Now, before we wrap up,
Okay.
let's touch on a few restaurant etiquette points that go beyond specific phrases. You know, those
Absolutely.
unspoken rules
Right.
that can really enhance the dining experience
For everyone.
for everyone.
Look.
So what are some of your top tips for
The-
good restaurant etiquette?
First and foremost, treat your server with respect.
Yeah.
They're working hard to ensure you have a pleasant meal.
Yeah.
So simple things like making eye contact, saying please and thank you,
Yeah.
avoiding interrupting.
Basic manners,
Yes.
but they make a huge difference.
They go a long way in setting a positive tone.
Another thing to keep in mind is patience,
Yes.
especially during busy times. Servers are often juggling multiple tables, so try to
Yeah.
be understanding if things are moving a bit slower than usual.
Be patient.
And on that note,
Yeah.
avoid snapping your fingers
Oh, yeah?
or trying to flag them down frantically.
No, no.
It's not a good look.
If you need their attention, a polite, or a subtle wave will do the trick.
And what about dealing with issues?
Right?
Like, what if the food isn't prepared correctly?
Right.
Or there's a problem with the bill?
Again, approach it with calm and respectful communication.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to bring up the issue,
Okay.
but avoid getting angry or confrontational.
Right.
A simple, I think there might be a mistake here,
Right.
or Could you please check this for me?
Yeah.
Will usually get the problem resolved quickly and efficiently.
So it's all about maintaining that same collaborative spirit.
Exactly. Remember, your goal is to enjoy your meal and have a positive experience.
And, while we've been focusing on communication within the restaurant, I think these principles of clarity, respect, and collaboration
Yeah.
can really be applied to any area of life.
Absolutely.
Don't you think?
Think about it, whether you're negotiating a contract, resolving a conflict with a loved one,
Yeah.
or simply asking for directions.
Yeah.
These same communication skills can help you achieve your goals and build stronger relationships.
It's like a master key
Yes.
that unlocks so many doors.
I love it.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground today.
They have.
From handling allergies to making substitutions,
Yeah.
from navigating vegetarian and vegan options
Mm-hmm.
to mastering those subtle nuances of restaurant etiquette.
Absolutely.
And hopefully you're feeling empowered to handle any restaurant situation
I hope so.
with grace, confidence, and clear communication.
Me
I know I am.
too.
But before we officially wrap up, I want to leave you with a thought-provoking question. We've talked about speaking up for your needs at a restaurant.
But how can you apply these same communication principles
Right.
to enhance other areas of your life?
Yeah.
Well, what situations come to mind
Yeah.
where clear and respectful communication could make a real difference?
That's a good one.
It really gets you thinking, doesn't it?
It does.
Because
yeah.
at the end of the day,
Yeah.
whether you're at a fancy restaurant
Right.
or just grabbing a quick bite,
Mm-hmm.
those interactions are microcosms of our broader communication patterns.
I like that, microcosms.
Yeah.
So basically you're saying that by honing our communication skills
Yes.
in something as everyday as ordering a meal,
Right.
we can actually improve our communication in more complex areas of life.
Precisely. Think about it.
Okay.
If you can confidently and politely navigate a tricky situation with a server,
Uh-huh.
imagine how much smoother those conversations with your boss,
Right.
your partner, or even your family could become.
That's a good point.
So the next time you find yourself hesitating to make a special request
Yeah.
or clearly communicate your needs,
Ah.
remember those strategies we talked about.
Channel that inner restaurant confidence.
Exactly. Because those same principles apply,
Right.
whether you're asking for a substitution on your plate or a change in your work schedule.
Being clear, respectful, and proactive
Yes.
can truly transform the way you interact with the world around you.
It's true.
Well said. And on that note, I
Huh?
think it's time to wrap up this delicious deep dive.
I agree.
I don't know about you, but I'm suddenly craving a thoughtfully ordered,
Me too.
perfectly prepared meal.
And thanks to these communication tips, we can all enjoy those meals
Yes.
with an extra side of confidence and satisfaction.
Bon appetit.
Bon appetit.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and see you next time. If you want more series, leave a comment and let us know.